Hey guys, before we get to Slay the Spire, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, ring the bell. That way you know every time we get a new video. Also, join us on Discord to hang out with us and come see us on Whiskey Wednesdays live. Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Mike.
And this is the Board Game Rundown, and today we are going to review Slay the Spire, the board game. This is from my collection. I did trade for it, and we are reviewing the collector's edition. So that means metal coins and play mats,
Mostly.
basically. There might be a few other things here and there, but for the most part, that's what it is. Also, the larger box, because all the play mats fit in the box real nice in that insert. I can vouch for that. So, Slay the Spire, if you're not familiar, is based on a video game, and this is going to play very close to that video game. It is a deck building game. You're going to pick one of 3 or 4 characters if you got the 4th one unlocked, and you are going to start with a deck of starter cards, and you're going to move up this map as you go, trying to get to the boss. And as you do, you're going to resolve the spaces you land on, right? So that's just summon a monster. We're going to draw a monster. They're going to line up next to us here. Same thing in the video game. You're going to fight a row of monsters, but it's only one player. Monsters are going to line up here. The players can attack any monster in any row. The monsters will only attack the players in their row. If the player in their row is dead and you're playing with the rule where you can keep fighting, then they will attack basically. First, they will attack down, and then they will attack up if there's nobody below them. But anyways, then you've got the question mark room. You're just going to draw the question mark card and resolve it. It's going to usually give you like a this or that option, and all players are going to choose what they want to do individually. Then there's these random spots here, right? So that could be anything, but right now that's a monster. If you fight that monster, they're going to have a reward on the top left side, which could be money, potions, gold, relics, depending on the strength of the monster. There's a merchant. Basically, you flip over this nice board here, because this just gives you like a rules overview. It's a nice little cheat sheet. But you're going to populate that with 3 relics, 3 potions. You're going to pull cards from the top of your reward deck here, and each player has their own suited to their character class. And you can buy those cards based on whatever their rarity is, and that gives you a nice little chart there based, so you can look and compare. Basically, you're going to add those cards, and you're going to kind of rinse, repeat, right? You get to one of these treasure chests, you're going to draw a relic. Each player is going to get a relic. Awesome. Now, again, at the market, if Mike buys this thing, it's gone. He's got it. But we can cooperate and be like, okay, that might fit you better. I won't buy it. I'll wait, this and that. Or maybe you just don't have the money for it, which can also happen. Potions are one-time use things. Most of the relics are out there sort of ongoing abilities, but there are some that are like one-time use. But they say that on the relic, on the card. It's pretty straightforward. And yeah, you're making your way up to the big boss, and there's a couple of different ones. There's a die roll, basically determines which one you're going to face. And yeah, they're going to fight everybody, and everybody's going to fight them. At least the bosses I've seen so far, they hit everybody. You can play this solo. The solo rules are very straightforward, like very little changes. You start with a relic called a loaded die, which basically gives you a relic that you can roll, and it gives you either like a shield or it can activate another dice activated relic, depending on what you roll. So you could trigger one of those other effects, like you had a couple. So if you were playing solo and you had that loaded die, you'd just be able to proc that one if you hit that number.
Nice.
And yeah, the other really cool thing about this, because in Slay the Spire, it's a deck building game, and not only are you adding cards to your deck, but you can also upgrade your cards. So how they do that in this game is those cards are 2-sided. So the game comes with sleeves, and so when you upgrade that card, you just flip it over. It's got a little plus, and the title of the card is now in green, so you can see it, and then it's got a better effect, whether it's cheaper or a more powerful version of what that action was. So as you're going, right, you're going to have all these opportunities to upgrade cards, buy cards, remove cards from your deck. There might be things that give you curses, right? So you're going to draw a random curse, add that to your deck. Reading the card explains the card. They're really very straightforward. That's really like a very quick and dirty on how to play this. If you are very familiar with the video game, check like a few things, because some of the rules are a little different. than how they work in the video game. Like the defect, the channeling of the orbs, you just pick. If you're going to evoke an orb, you just pick which one. It doesn't have to be the furthest most one over, even though it does look like it because they've got it like represented. But that's just the art kind of showing you how the game looks. But yeah, you can evoke any orb. Each player board has items or nice little explanations on how they all work and a little bit differently. And then the rule book also gives you a nice explanation on sort of how that character plays. So you have an idea of what to expect if you're not very familiar with the characters. Yeah, and that's just, like I said, very quick and dirty version of how to play. Let's talk about how we felt about the game. Mike, you look like you want to say something.
Just a little bit more about the flow of this is that once you get to the very end here, you're going to fight a final boss that is way stronger than anything else in here. Mm-hmm. But if you die, you lose everything. You re-rack and you start again. Everything. So this is a true roguelike, exactly like the video game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, if you if you're inclined, after an act, if you beat that boss, you can go in and you can unlock. Like every player can check these little boxes in the back of the book, depending on how you played for each boss you beat. So basically what you do is you go on a run as far as you can. And then when everybody dies, you go back and you check those boxes. So if we died halfway through the second act, we didn't get to that boss, we would check a box for playing, and then you'd get another box for each boss that we beat. So if we beat one boss, so we'd each get to check 2 boxes. And you can apply those either with the characters that you're using, or there's like colorless cards you can unlock. Which will give you just kind of more options to choose from, and then more cards that go to your decks. Potentially, I'm not sure if there's more relics or not, but I mean, there's lots of stuff in there. But yeah, good point. So yeah, that's basically the game. There's ways to apply sort of ongoing effects, things like that. But I mean, it's a deck builder, but the market is your own market. Nobody's messing with your market. You're picking your cards from your own private areas.
Yep.
But Mike.
Yep.
What'd you think about Slay the Spire, man?
First, I'll talk about the aesthetics. The art is absolutely true to the game, even with the enemies that come out.
I mean, it's 100% the game art.
And the heroes that you're playing, very asymmetric heroes that you're playing. All of these decks play and feel entirely different. Mm-hmm. I'm playing out like poison cards that continue to hurt the enemies at the beginning of their turn. Meanwhile, these guys have much bigger, like one-time big attacks all at once, and I'm just kind of pecking away with daggers and poisons, and so I like that asymmetry. Mm-hmm. I love these coins. These might be some of my favorite coins I've seen in a game. Not only are these thick, but these have really great engraving on the inside of them. Plus kind of the worn edges of these.
Yeah, it looks like they're more like hammered.
Minted.
Yeah, it looks like they're hammered out.
Just absolutely wonderful coins.
Stamped.
And if more of them came in this game, I'd be leeching these coins and using them for more games. Tim might find his missing when we're done with his review. Just incredible coins.
Yeah.
Player mats are great. I love how they implemented this, and I really like how they implemented the multiplayer. I have played the video game quite a few times, and it's a strictly solo experience. So that's I typically play video games when I want to play games with other people. That's my preferred way. I like doing online, cooperative games, and I love the way they implemented this here. There's no downtime. You play simultaneously, so you don't have to wait for everybody. Now, there is some timing that you do want to wait for people, because if one guy's got 2 hit points left and you've got certain attacks that may only hit multiple guys, or Bob's got one big attack, I want to know who they're going to hit before I'm going to play some of my cards. I may want to know where I want to distribute some of my blocks, so I may want to wait to see what other cards are coming out. So I really do like how they implemented the cooperative elements in this game, and it feels very true to the video game. However, since this is a board game, it's fiddly. There's a lot of status effects to keep track of. Now, I'm not talking like Sentinels of the Multiverse fiddly.
No.
There's not that much.
No.
I don't know if any cooperative hand management game or deck game will be as fiddly as that. But just keep in mind, there's, you've got to use these to keep track of health. Those can get bumped. The monster cards are very similar, but they don't have those tracks there. Yeah. So wherever our monster cards went, it's just one of these, and you're sliding this, and sometimes they can be sitting halfway, and you don't know. Does he have 2 or 3 health? I don't remember.
I just hit him real hard and find out.
So there is a bit of fiddliness here, but that doesn't take away from my enjoyment of this. I really appreciated how this game implemented what the video game does well, and I think it represents it extremely well in board game form. And there's no downtime again. One other little nitpick, and this is kind of more about roguelike games for me. I like more progression. And what roguelike games do to you is, okay, if you beat Act 1, when you get to add cards from this big old deck, you randomly just kind of draw 3 and pick one. If you at least beat Act 1, you're going to be able to add more cards into that randomly. So you have more options. You don't automatically keep those cards from round to round, though. So if you die, you completely start over with nothing. And I wish there was more progression. Again, that's not a complaint of Slay the Spire. That's just roguelike games. All of them are like that. You re-rack with nothing. I would wish there was a little bit more you could carry on other than just a choice. Like even if it was just one card that was in your starting deck. But otherwise, an enjoyable experience and a great translation from the video game.
How about you, Bob?
Yeah, a lot of what Mike said, like the simultaneous play is great because like there's like Tim had a lot of like AoE type stuff where he's hitting everybody. I had a lot of big attacks, so it's like, okay, Tim, do all your AoE stuff, damage everybody. Let's see where everybody's at. That dude's got a lot of hit points left. Boom, boom. I'll do a bunch of big hits to him. Then Mike just came in there and bing, 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 take everybody out. And like that, like kind of working together to do that without like one person like alpha gaming type of thing, like was really fun to do. And that it didn't feel like one person was just kind of quarterbacking the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So that was really nice. Since the board is kind of randomized, it's modular, right? You got those little tokens.
And this is two-sided.
So it happens in different paths that you can choose. So that's kind of nice, too. So each time you do go through the Spire, like, you can choose different ways to go. These coins are very nice. I wish it was a 3, but I'm just like a person who likes 3s and think 3s are better than 5s. But
you don't have enough to need 3s.
Sure.
I mean, I guess unless you just did 3s instead of 5s.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I would do 3s instead of 5s. Sure. But I'm just a nitpicky.
There's a lot of cards that cost 3 to buy, and it costs 3 to remove cards. So 3 would be a nice denomination. I'm with you, Bob.
And that would reduce fiddliness.
Boy.
Here
they go. Just kidding.
The fact that the banners in the cards are gray, blue, and yellow, very easy to tell apart. So I didn't have any issues with that. That was really nice.
I was going to ask you. So
Yep. So no problems with that. I liked how asymmetrical all the characters really felt. They were all doing different types of things. Each person has like their own special deck you're getting upgrades from that are thematic to your character that you're playing. That felt really good. Yeah. Then you have these like extra powerful cards, and holy cow, they are extra powerful cards.
Yeah, they are.
Like I got to add a couple of those, and man, they are like game changing. Like you get to do a lot of cool stuff, and yeah, you can do. They have ways to call your deck, so you're getting to those cooler cards better. It just felt really good, like what I was doing. I'm excited. I'm trying to get my own copy of this on the trade market. So if you got one, hit me up. I'm on BGG. I don't know necessarily if I need to get the collector's edition though, because like yes, these are nice, and I do appreciate the fact that the mats all fit in the box. That's huge for me. If you're going to include player mats, let them fit in the box, please. But as long as the original boards are dual layered also,
I believe they are.
Then I might be okay with just a basic one. I think, whichever
this mat does help with like organization for the axe.
Right.
And stuff
but
like
if once
that.
you know how to play, then
Yeah.
somebody else can kind of run that. Yeah. It comes with the sleeves, right? The Slay the Spire sleeves. Yep. You have to have sleeves because the way the cards don't have a normal back on, like Tim was saying, how they're double-sided. But if something does happen to those sleeves, you can just go buy like other like
black sleeves, red sleeves,
anything with like a
you
picture
can buy
on the
purple
back.
sleeves, blue sleeves,
right,
green
and
sleeves, and red
to
sleeves.
the character.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's always cool. Like, I love sleeving cards. It's one of my cathartic things I like to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, like I really enjoy what we were doing.
And you've never played the video game.
I've never played the video game. Like I didn't, like I said, I enjoyed what I was doing. I'm excited to kind of play through more and keep building up. Also, like Mike said, I do wish there was a little bit that you would get to keep, like in either your base deck, because yeah, adding a card into this is cool, but like I want to have a little bit more to start with. Like
sure.
I've played through it, now I'm going to start again, but I have a little bit of a buff.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, sure.
And you can choose to reset it all the way if you wanted to, but like if you successfully get through all the acts, my character should be like S tier now, so I should like be able to go.
Well, that's
go
when
through
you
it
play
again.
Ascension, you make it harder.
Is it a harder mode?
And you start the same way.
Oh
yeah, baby. But you've got better cards that are coming out potentially
really?
with your rewards.
Oh, because they're already in here.
Yeah.
I hear you. But
Yeah, because those don't go away.
those would stay.
When you unlock, they stay in there.
They stay in there.
Yes.
Okay, well, that is something at least.
Yeah, and that's, for Mike, that wasn't enough progression. Or
Sure.
not enough to, like, scratch that itch for him.
Right.
But
Well,
for
because
me,
you are
it
just drawing
was.
3, and with all these cards in there, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
you
there's
might not
tons.
you might never
Tons.
see it. Yeah.
Tons of cards. So I'm a huge fan of Slay the Spire. I play it probably every day. I have it on my iPad, I have it on my phone, and I have it on my PlayStation. My PlayStation and my phone are one account, and my PlayStation's a different account.
Wait, say
so
it
my
again?
progression on
your phone.
PlayStation
Yeah.
is like way farther because I've had it longer on PlayStation. And then
Gotcha.
when I got it on my iPhone and my iPad, those are linked. So
Gotcha.
I could pick up my phone and continue my
Where
run.
you left off. Yeah.
So for me, this was probably the first roguelike game that I had played. And at first I was like, oh, I don't get to keep anything. But the random starting stuff, because the game does a random starting thing, and you
Yeah.
get a Niao rando starting card every time. So, and everybody gets something different, right? So you might have to gain 2 coins and pick a card, but then you're gonna have an option of 3 things you can do. And those are always really interesting and really useful. Also, what I love though, right, is because that sets you up with like a different new card in your deck every time you replay the game. So again, potentially you can have better cards. You know, maybe the last time when I did that run, I didn't have an upgraded card. You know, maybe I just had an extra card, or maybe I had a relic, you know, that was really good. I just really love that variability. I love the challenge that this game presents, like the video game itself. I read the rules and everything. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I could teach this to the guys. I played this game 3.5 times last night solo. Like, I just went through the first act with one character. I was like, that was badass. Reset it, picked a different character, went through the first act again just to learn that character, and then went like halfway through the first act again with another character, and then was like, okay, it's like 12:30. I got to go to bed. But I got up this morning, and I've been wanting to play this all day. I really had a great time with it. It changes a few things from the video game to make it make sense for this version. But this was everything I was hoping it would be. And I didn't back this on Kickstarter because I was really skeptical.
Right.
Really skeptical. Like, I don't know how you do it, and I don't know how you make it where it's fun. But, like, I can't wait to play this again. And again, right? Everybody's asymmetric, and that you really feel that. And you do in the game as well, right? In the video game as well. Like, different decks play different ways. Like, whenever I play as the Silent, and when I was playing this as this character, this was the first character I tried last night because it's my favorite one. But I was going through my deck so fast because it's like draw cards. And then I had like discard cards, right? So if I didn't care if I got curses because I could discard them, draw cards, discard, draw card. You know what I mean? And so like there's different ways you can kind of feed that engine. And again though, right? Like she has like poison and shivs. Those are like the 2 big things. But you could do a whole run and hardly ever see shivs or hardly ever see poison. But man, when you can get them to line up, and then if you get a relic that is like every time you deal unblocked damage, you do poison, get out of here. It gets sick. And so it's kind of like the same thing. Each character has like a combination, and if you hit that sweet spot, you're like, I ain't losing. Like I'm just
We're going to Act 3, baby.
Yeah, like I know I ain't losing. Like this is awesome. And we played it the first time we set up and played, because we played this twice today. We lost halfway through. We went after an elite boss early, got greedy, tried to get a relic.
Well, it was a really hard elite boss.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
But we had also taken some damage. Honestly, if I had the 1 more health,
You'd have survived.
I would have survived, and we would have won the next round.
Yeah.
because we did a lot of hurting.
We did.
On that, because we were basically ready, just not ready enough.
I had some really cool cards. That's one thing about dying and you have to lose those cards. Like, I really like that card.
Yeah, but when you play the next time, you're like,
I got some really cool
you're
cards.
like, oh, look at this, right?
Yeah.
So again, for me, that wasn't super satisfying for you guys. I guess for me, I'm like, I'm here for that.
You're
like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that because I know that there's other cool stuff just coming. And, you know, like even this last game we played, we were humming pretty good. And I had a card. I didn't get any. I got this card because I was like, well, surely I'm going to get some frost orbs. I never got a card to let me channel frost orbs. So that was like a dead card in my hand. I was like, dang it. But it was worth a gamble, right?
Sure.
Like because if I can get that, now I'm going to be doing even more damage. But, you know, like when you're playing the video game or when you're playing this, if you start to see a couple of cards that are keying off of each other, you know, triggering each other, lean into that strategy as hard as you can, because that's really going to make those decks hum. But everything they said aesthetically, I love the look, the feel, the vibe. The game looks great. The playmats are cool. I'm not always like, oh, I need the playmats, but the fact that they fit in the box, I'm here for it. I'll use them every time. Because sometimes it's like, well, we don't need them. I'm going to leave it in the box. No, I'm going to get them out. Like, I'm going to use them every time. Because if you don't have this guy, when you've got, like, the relic cards, like, it's nice to just have the playmat because it's easier to scoop them up. You know what I mean? And, yeah, the insert's really good. You sort all the cards. It's got nice little dividers. Everything sits in there really nice and snug. So
and the slots hold sleeve cards okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be an atrocity.
Yeah, I was going to say, because a lot of times when people make inserts, they don't account for sleeves, even though the game, they might come with sleeves, and then you're like, they don't fit. How do you not make a insert that accommodates sleeved cards if you're going to include sleeves? That's the other biggest...
The worst component in the game is just a big, chunky wooden die, which is fine. I threw a die I liked better in there. Because I know Bob also hates wooden dice.
I do.
They don't bother me as much, but like when everything else looks so cool, and that's kind of like meh.
It's like you look at that die, it's like, oh, this thing should be nice and hefty, and it's like it weighs nothing. It's like made of pine or something.
Yeah. But anyways, I had a great time with this. This looks great, feels great. It did everything I wanted to do, and I was really surprised. I thought I would really enjoy it. Well. First, I didn't think I would like the game when it was on Kickstarter. I was like, oh, there's no way.
Yep.
Then I started hearing more and more and more about it and was like, I kind of want that game. Kind of want to play it. And then actually, we had a guest on our live show, and he said that game was overrated and didn't like it. And I was like, oh, no, because I had already traded for it. But when I got it, I cracked it open. I couldn't wait to get into it. And I just am in love. I'm smitten. I am sad I'm going to have to leave this at the studio for a few days so we can like shoot some B-roll and stuff, because if not, I'd be playing this solo tonight.
Well, it's been out for less than a year, and it's already in the top 70 on BGG.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I loved it. And yes, it is a little fiddly, but I think what really helped us, and maybe I would recommend, is if you have somebody just kind of control
running
stuff.
the creatures. Yeah.
Just run the creatures.
Assign duties.
Yeah, you assign duties. It won't be so bad. And just make sure you are paying attention to the tokens you're throwing down, either on yourself or the critters, so that you can apply those effects. Don't you cheat yourself, because the game will beat the snot out of you if you let it.
Use all the advantages you can.
Yeah. So, all right, I guess we need to rate this bad boy. Mr. Mike, how do we do that?
We're each going to give the game a score from 0 to 10. We're going to average those together. That is the rundown score, and that's what we put on BGG.
Mr. Hooper, you're coldest to the franchise is in like...
You can say newest.
Yeah, newest. So let's get your opinion first, Senior.
Like I was saying, I really enjoyed what I was doing. I love deck builders, especially asymmetrical deck builders with specific cards you're adding for your character to keep them asymmetrical. Looking forward to getting this in my collection. It's a 9 for me.
Yeah. Mr. Mike.
Nice. It is very enjoyable. I appreciate that there's no downtime. I was really worried about that when I was like, wow, 4 players Slay the Spire. Geez, that could take hours waiting for people to do their turn and everything. I do wish the card stock was a little better. I know these are all in sleeves and you don't handle these. However, this is not a cheap game. I think the card stock could have been better. But I still enjoy this experience. I want to play it more, and it's an 8.5 for me.
This is at least a 9 for me. It could be a 9.5. In a year where I've been playing a ton of games, it's a 9.
Okay.
It's a 9. in a year where I've played a ton of games I've really liked, it's going to be really tough to figure out what my favorite's been because this year has been a really good year for me with like new to us games so far.
2025, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
2025 has been a very strong year so far.
Agreed.
Very strong year. Because I have probably played three of my. There's 3 games that I don't know which one's my favorite right now out of that I played this year so
Curious
far.
to hear what it is.
And this is one of
afterwards.
them.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Average
together 8.8. It's a solid score.
I would say that if this does not belong on that top 5 overrated games, games that don't belong in the top 100.
There's a list that doesn't belong on, and that's the one.
Yeah.
This deserves it.
This will be in my top 50 next year, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I do not foresee that not making
More
it.
than likely.
Yeah, this game was really good. And the other thing, right? Again, you beat Act 3, you play it again. You know, now you've got Ascension mode, and you play on a harder level. You unlock more stuff. There's even stuff beyond Act
That's
3.
cool. There's like a lot of like other unlockable stuff that we haven't even seen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's only going to get better.
Legacy-ish.
Legacy-ish, right. Yeah, it's only going to get better. All right, guys. Well, Slay the Spire was awesome. Thank you, Mega Crit and Contention Games, not for sending me one, but you could have, but for just making a fun game that I really enjoyed. 1 to 4 players, 60 to 90, 12 and up. All those things are accurate. So for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
I was silent.
But deadly.